And then, speaking of performances, Rob Font, man, this was just a damn near a perfect fight against Cody Garbrandt. Dominated Cody for 5 rounds, and while Cody had his moments in this one, he couldn't really sustain anything. Significant strikes in this one. Not good. More than double. 176 to 63. And now Garbrandt has lost 4 of his last 5 after starting his UFC career 11-0 and with the bantamweight title. And one of the things that looked like this, like it just kind of looked like Cody couldn't get out of second gear in this fight. It looked like, come on, because we know the two kind of Cody Garbrandts we get. We get the wild and crazy and just throwing, and we get the calm and collected. But it looked like, is it wrong to say he looked too cautious in this one?
No, I think that's a good way to put it. We also got to give your boy Andrew a shout out for calling that before the fight happened on that day.
Yes, man.
Yeah, that was a good one. He
Well,
called it.
he
He
said,
said Rob Font easy decision.
right? And then I was like,
So
he said Rob Font
credit.
easy. I was like, oh, what round? Because I was really expecting someone to go down in this one. He said decision. I was like, oh, you're bold.
Yeah,
And then spot.
spot on.
I got give my man some credit, man. I can't deny that. That was good.
Yeah, so I think yeah, it was a rough fight for Cody, man. He couldn't get past that jab. It was, I mean, and the funny, well, I mean, not funny, but the crazy thing
Is
to
that
me
the
is
best jab in the UFC?
I don't know about that.
Well,
Rob Font literally all week was talking about it, like in everything leading up, all content leading up to it, destined like media days,
mhm.
anything. He's talking about his jab. So I mean, Cody should have known coming into that fight, I gotta find a way to fight this jab.
Mhm.
And the first round was actually he did really really good. Came
Yeah.
out there, used his wrestling, wasn't really able to hold
Oh,
him
so
down
you're a
too much.
wrestler now.
Well, he's got to mix it up. He's a state champion in wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. So he can do it on the ground. But as you said, well, actually, I don't even know if he brought this up, but it just looked like the gas tank really wasn't completely there,
Yeah, I
and
guess
not.
I don't want to say with COVID. I guess he's still feeling little effects from that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to bring that excuse into it, but that
Mm-hmm.
is something that's a factor that you do need to keep in mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something that there's been, Hamza has had trouble with it. A bunch of other people have had trouble with it, lingering effects. So, I mean, maybe that is there, but yeah, to what you were saying, it did look like he was a little overcautious. I think it was decent for him to kind of take those shots from Rob and see like, okay, I do
His
have a
chin's
chin
still there,
still,
man.
but it also kind of sucked to see him take a few too many of those
Mm-hmm.
shots. Especially that head kick. I was like, oh my
Oh,
god, he just ate that.
oh, he's eating some heavy shots, man.
But yeah, just nothing really overly impressive from Cody this fight.
Yeah, Rob Font though, man. That guy can throw down, and he throws in
Right.
combos. He hits it with the right. He hits it left with the left. He lands that leg kick, and he lands it with force and power without like. You can see when guys are trying to knock people out, you could see that. But when Rob lands these heavy shots that you can hear, it looks almost effortless. This guy just has power without even trying. And so, Rob Font, man, he's now won 4 fights in a row, and he's looking really good. He's looking like a contender. So let's talk next fight for both these guys. And let's talk about Cody Garbrandt first. One, I would like to throw a couple names out there. One of them being Marlon Moraes. I think this could be a really good fight for him. If you look at both these guys going to this fight, Cody Garbrandt was number 4 guy. Currently, Marlon Moraes is number 6. They haven't fought, and then also Marlon Moraes' last fight was a loss to Rob Font. So I think this could make sense with that matchup. And then another name I would like to put out there too is possibly Frankie Edgar.
Well, they're teammates. That's not going to happen.
I know. I just want to see.
They're Mark. That's
It's
Mark Hunt's
it's
boys.
never going to happen.
And plus, I think you're totally forgetting the 125 rumors. Like I think that
Oh, you think he drops now?
I think he might drop.
Okay.
He might get the next title shot, or he might just do a number 1 contender fight and solidify the next shot. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on with Cody. It's going to be interesting for
What do you
sure.
think
He's
is the
got a lot to
best
think
move for
about.
him then? What?
At this point, I don't know, man. Bantamweight's pretty tied up right now, right?
Yeah.
Because you got Corey and TJ for number 1 contender, so they got the next shot.
Yeah.
You got Aljo and Jan running it back, so that's
Mhm.
another 6 months on
At least
on the
more than
waiting list.
likely.
And Cody at this point in bantamweight will have to win at least 2 more fights to even get close to a, title eliminator fight at this point.
Yeah.
It's got to be impressive wins too over guys that, are good. So yeah, I'd say it might be worth checking out 125, just seeing how he goes over there, because he could literally blow up that whole division.
He could. If he can make that weight, he could contend. Especially
he can make that weight.
Especially with we get the title fight going down UFC 263 over there in Arizona between Figueiredo, trying to right the wrongs of the bad. Well, I guess he had that hindered performance because he was in the hospital like the night before, if we throw it all the way back to December. So that was going to be a really good fight. UFC 263 in general, that card's loaded. This summer is good for us UFC fans. But let's talk Rob Font then, because I put this out on Twitter on Monday for his next fight. I think there's 2 solid options right here. And first off, it's not going to happen, but personally, if he got put into a title fight against Aljo, I wouldn't complain. If we didn't already have these other 2 fights in the current situation, you could easily make that argument.
I would definitely complain about that.
But the one that's more likely than not is probably the loser of Corey Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw. And then maybe, if the UFC doesn't want to, for whatever reason, doesn't want to run the media rematch with Piotr Jan and Aljamain Sterling, Piotr Jan wouldn't be a bad fight as well. But loser is Sandhagen versus Dillashaw?
Yeah, I think that's probably the only logical, next step.
Mm-hmm. That he wins that title shot, right?
Yeah, depending. It just depends on the title picture.
Mm.
Yeah, possibly.
It's Rob Font, for what he's been doing recently, I would like to see him get a title shot soon if he gets another one.
It's just tough though, because the loser of that fight between TJ and Corey, if they lose in a devastating fashion and then Rob beats them up, it's going to be almost looked at as like a slide, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. It depends on a lot of things, but yeah, in theory, if he beats a guy at that level, yes, he's got 5 fights in a row. That's wins at the top, at the top level pretty much. So he's trending in the right direction. It's just he's got to get a little bit more pop on his name.
Well, if he already has pop in his glove, so I guess you got to get the name going.
This weekend helped, though, for sure. This weekend definitely helped. It would have been better if he got a finish, but he still outclassed Cody Garbrandt, an ex-champion. So things are going, things are moving in the right direction for him.
And then as a whole here, do you think Rob Font gained more from this fight, or did Cody Garbrandt lose more from this fight?
I think Font probably. I think Font gained more. I don't think Cody lost a lot. Because, he fought Rob Font. Like, Rob Font's a really good guy, and he didn't get finished. He showed he has a chin still. He didn't get, overly aggressive, but he didn't come out of his shell necessarily. I think it just showed that there's still some things he needs to work on, possibly, was hindered by, whatever lingering effects from COVID, that he can work that out as well. So I think it just showed the blueprint of what he needs to work on. And if he's hungry enough, he's going to be back. He's going to fight a Marlon Moraes or someone, on that level and get another chance. Or he's going to go to 125 and see what he's made of over there. So I think Rob Font definitely gained more than Cody lost, because Cody's still a huge name. He still has millions of followers on Instagram. He's chilling, dude. He's got Ali Abdelaziz as his manager. He's going to be good. He's going to be in good hands.
Man, with Ali, even coming off of being 1-4 in his last 5, he could still probably get a next title shot at the 125 division.
You never know, dude. You never know. He works magic, man.
That man Ali he's built different. If we just want to classify it as that.
His head's built different.
He's
sorry.
Oh boy.